What's going on, guys? It's Jeff. So recently we had a pretty big leak happen, and it's kind of changing the idea of what Black Ops 7 could actually even be. Apparently they had like a group of testers. I have no idea how many, whether it's big or small amount of people. Now the reason I even talk about the number of people is because one of the game modes that ended up leaking was an apparent 20v20 mode. I don't know if they have enough people to fill that up, but I feel like if they have a new game mode, especially when it's showing up in the leaks and stuff like that, imagine that they would have at least, like 40 people to be able to test it out. At least that's how it seems like it would be to me. Wait, this lobby is crazy sweaty. Why is it like that? Holy sh! Let's do Mercenary. Let's try that. So there is a leaked game mode where it's apparently like a big team thing. We've had our own different versions of Ground War and stuff, but I don't think we've ever had a 20v20. Also, the initial reactions from some people when they hear of this 20v20, some people for whatever reason are thinking that somehow 20v20 will work on like the regular maps throughout the game, and people are kind of theorizing that like there is a 20v20 mode. Does this mean that like all of the maps are generally bigger maps? Are they smaller maps? Because the trend over the past couple years has been a lot of smaller, medium-sized maps, as the larger maps just really aren't as popular. Especially while we have map voting. The map voting itself immediately will allow us to likely play more medium and small maps. I imagine less than, what, 10% of the time, the large map is gonna somehow beat a smaller map. If you put Nuketown on there, and then any large map, I can almost guarantee that Nuketown will win that vote. Now, as annoying and brain-rotted as it is, that's just, how everybody's voting here. There's also another mode called Overload. Reading the description of it, it sounds like kind of like Uplink. I'm pretty sure that there's probably just a large map, one or two, maybe 3 large maps that work for that 20v20 mode, and then all of the other modes will just be on the normal maps. The way that this leaked, whenever you go and log into the game, Warzone, multiplayer, whatever, on Call of Duty, you get a message of the day. For some reason, they ended up, quote, accidentally pushing this little message out for a few minutes when it seems to be intended for just that testing group. I'll bring it up to you guys. So Skirmish 20v20. 2 teams of 20 fight to complete objectives across a large map. A large map. Now that doesn't mean that there's only one, but it's describing it as only on large maps. There'll be like a specialized map for this. Capture the points of interest, destroy payloads, and transmit valuable data to score. Use your wingsuit to flank and reach objectives before your enemy. The first team to reach the score limit wins. So this is like, there's large buildings, you can pull out your wingsuit. What do you deploy into the large map? It could just be like Ground War, where it's like certain sections of it, and then maybe different sections of it kind of unlock as it goes. Welcome to the CIP. Thanks for participating in our closed internal playtest. Jump in during our core hours, and then they got all this information here. Leave feedback in the Parallax playlist on Slack. Slack is like a messaging thing that a lot of people use. But here's the big thing. There are images here that we can see in-game. There are in-game images here, screenshots. So this kind of stuff, it leaks weapons, character models, even an idea of like what kind of placement the maps are in, time period. And one obvious thing as well, if you look at the back of this guy, you see like he has some sort of little pack on. It could just be a backpack, could be a jetpack. But what exactly is a jetpack considered? Because not only does this character have this pack, if we go over here and look at the second image here, we'll talk about some of the weapons. You can see here, this guy is diving. It looks like a normal side dolphin dive. You don't see any kind of like fire coming out of the back or anything. But then you look at the back of some of these guys, again, looks like some kind of a backpack. This guy especially looks like some kind of jetpack. There's some kind of post office or whatever. Merc says, do my eyes deceive me? Jetpacks. I see the jetpack. Where is Advanced Warfare 2? Where is BO3 Remastered? Multiple operators wearing booster packs, and these are not bundle skins. This is from the base game. He's got closer screenshots of it, the ones that I pointed out. Am I the only one that feels like this was intentional? Absolutely. That was one thing that I was actually going to mention. It's a pretty known thing that they absolutely do controlled leaks. Some of them are more obvious than others. This one, to me, feels like a more blatant leak, where they can get some feedback just based off of these images, like everybody's analyzing them right now, like me. Game modes, it's kind of, whatever, 20v20, who knows how many people are gonna play, whatever. Higher res versions of this. So if we look at the characters, this kind of looks like, obviously it's a shotgun, it kind of looks like the Spaz. Got an attachment over here on the end, some kind of like muzzle brake or something. Helmet looks pretty cool, decently futuristic, but not overly futuristic. Got these weird little panel things up top here. But again, the main star here is looking at the fact that they have, all of them have this weird pack on the back. The thing is, it's not the same as like jetpack and exosuits are different things, but this doesn't seem like it's either of them. I don't know how to explain it. This looks like, to me, this looks like some kind of PDW or like cordite or something, just from the way that this looks. If this right here is the magazine, which these look like bullets, it probably pops and slides out of the side and then you go and reload it back in, like we already know. It looks like some kind of maybe RC car or something like that in the background, which is a pretty common thing, nothing groundbreaking there. Looks like some kind of glass building, got these like triangle things, probably happening in like some area base thing. For some reason, looking at it like this, it's definitely a bit different, but in my head, this kind of reminds me of Scrapyard. This reminds me of the building that's on the one side of the map, along with a little patchy grass in the front. Then usually you got like those metal cylindrical things over here. But instead we have this, I don't know, broken down robot it looks like. Maybe it's operational. The obvious robot dog here in the middle. Now the thing is, they do have a jetpack, but it doesn't look like it's going over their entire body, like an exosuit. New mode Overload. 2 teams of 6 players each fight to control a neutral EMP device that must be delivered to the enemy HQ to score. Reach the score limit and claim victory by delivering multiple EMP devices. This to me kind of seems like a form of like uplink. I don't know if it's kind of got like those basketball elements where you can like shoot it from a distance or dunk it. And also obviously I don't know if we're going to be dunking if we don't have like boost jumps or anything. It clearly looks like some kind of pack on their back. Do I think that they're lying about it being jetpacks? Not entirely, but they might be kind of not being entirely honest. So what I mean by that is, what if maybe there's no like jetpack thing where you like double jump or whatever, but maybe it's some kind of like boost pack instead. Or like maybe you can have like a small dash forward or like a quick little side dash or even like a back dash. That to me seems a little bit more possible, but to me that still feels like it could fall under the category of just a jetpack, no? Like, does jetpack exclusively mean vertical or double jump or anything? Like, if somebody has a pack on their back that has some kind of jet in it, but they can't jump up, it's still a jetpack. Another thing though that has me kind of thinking that it's more of like a boost pack, or maybe it could potentially be just a visual thing. Maybe it's some kind of like, there's something in universe that is like pumping like vitals through it, and it doesn't actually serve as some kind of like jetpack or anything. Looking at it from here, it's hard to see it, right? You can't really tell. But looking at it over here, these two things right here make it look like it's more of a jetpack than, you know, what we're seeing here from the side. Because if we think of this as like some kind of enhancement pack where like the soldiers got like better hydration, like it's got some kind of filter in it or some shit, like Master Chief suit. Maybe it's not a jetpack at all and it just kind of looks that way, but there's no boosting at all. But then we also know that there is some form of, they didn't say wall running, but there is like a wall hop, and a lot of leaks pointed towards there being some kind of like wall hop thing. So is it possible that like maybe you get like these really tiny boost things, you can jump against the wall and like maybe boost forward a little bit in order to wall run a little bit further? Or when you go and like do a little tap hop off of the wall, you can use a little boost thing to fly off to the side or whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around what the fuck they're building. Now, ultimately, does this sound good to me? Maybe, maybe not. It really depends. I feel like this is one of the more confusing things because the other games, the jetpack games, were very obvious jetpacks, exos, and stuff like that. The exosuit wasn't just a jetpack. It would reach over the character's arms and it would go down their legs and everything. It looks like a clear, like, full suit thing that amplifies everything. Now, while this might still be like an amplifying device, we're obviously not all the way, you know, into that future timeline yet. So this has to be like maybe an version of like an exosuit, and then later in the timeline it developed further, which is why I'm thinking that maybe it's like these weak little boosts. Maybe it's not the insane advanced warfare stuff that we saw, or even like Infinite Warfare. I don't know the timeline or difference between the two of them. How the F does this happen? Probably on purpose. I spy with my little eye. Do I see the cordite from BO4? Yeah. Nothing is done by accident. It's causing people to talk about BO7. Nothing is accidentally with Xbox. They're just like Google, leaks on purpose. Wait. It kind of does look like a suit. I didn't realize that this was going all the way down. Is this attached, though? Like, this looks like it has some sort of thing going down the arm. This guy doesn't have anything going down the arm, though. Is it is it equipment that could do this? If this is some kind of equipment and you can choose to have, like, better movement than everybody else, I feel like you would use this. I don't know. I feel like maybe we're just seeing like flashes of stuff we've seen before and automatically correlating them to exosuit or jetpack or whatever. Does this look like an exosuit? Yeah. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you guys think that this leak was on purpose? It doesn't even really matter whether it was on purpose or not, let's be honest. What do you guys think about Black Ops 7? I'm as hype as I can be for a new Call of Duty. Does it seem a little less inspired than previous installments? Yeah, I would say so. But we also kind of dealt with this similar thing with MW2 to MW3, where visually, it didn't really change very much at all. And I don't hate the multiplayer of BO6, So I'm really curious what the overall motto of Black Ops 7's multiplayer is in general, and what it even means for Warzone in general as well. They're claiming that their player count is all good and everything over on Warzone and stuff, so I imagine we'll probably get like a big BO7 update or whatever. Now, just because it's in multiplayer doesn't mean that it's going to go to Warzone, but yeah, there's just only speculation at this point.